those little things we do without knowing it's an act of corruption. Join Global Society for Anti-Corruption, GSA.
You think the multiplicity of parties
are causing some of these issues?
What are they causing?
Okay, like look at it that a political party that just started from, let me say, August last year. Now, in some of the parties, they don't have state executives in some states.
Yes, that's
and
right.
Some of them fly for presidential.
Okay.
And you are saying you want to control electoral fraud. If you have two parties who have structure in everywhere, you know when it's election time, you have your members.
Okay.
Like in my party, we have our ward chairman in the whole 11 wards. But I will not lie you. I cannot boast that most of even our ward executive are our full members.
Okay.
They saw the opportunity of politics time is coming, they will make a little money and claims to be a political party member. So if you start your membership drive earlier before the election, and you know this is my true son, in them I'm well pleased, you know they can go to any extent for you. But not when election is fast approaching. You start calling for one congress or the other, you start attending meeting in the midnight or what have you. After election, those party offices get locked down.
It makes a bit of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And okay, so you can say two. Some other person can say, okay, let's do three-party system. But at the end of the day, you are talking about limiting the parties to a point where at least every party registered will be able to have enough structure.
And even
do you agree with him?
Exactly, because you can't win an election without having structure on the ground.
That means your party may have to go.
Definitely.
You don't mind if a party goes, because if they say let's wipe out some, how do we decide which ones to wipe out and which ones to keep?
No, there's a good side to it. The party should just make efforts to have structures on the ground. But I believe when there are other options, people can do better. If we have just two political parties, the society we are in.
You're going for two? Just two?
No, I'm not going for two.
What are you going for?
I'm going for more than two.
Like 10?
Like 10.
Like 10?
Yes, because when we have more options, people know that if you're a popular candidate, irrespective of your party and you have your structures, you can always win your election.
Because we need to go back to what actually causes the proliferation of parties. It is discontentment.
Exactly.
I want to vie, and they say there's not even a vying. It's this person that is going.
Exactly.
And so you go to another place where you are at least given a fair chance to. So, you said 10. This one said 2.
Yeah.
You see, let me be sincere. You see, contesting is one thing, trying to win is another thing, and trying to help your community is another thing. Let me use the word of the Southeast Vice President, National Youth Council, please, GBK. Okay. Because of that, you see 93 people flying for a political position. At the end of the day, you will be shocked that the only posters they have.
Maybe they use it to their CV. Don't you think it's good if they say one-time presidential aspirant added to someone's name? Maybe that's why they
does he give money to, as in with the name, will you receive an ad for it?
It doesn't need to give you money. It gives you a sense of I did something. For instance, the argument has been, for instance, we have the debate. You watch the debate. Exactly. Very brilliant set of people, but one is saying, why don't 3 of them come under one umbrella?
So can I say something about
that? Go ahead.
I think it's about competence. Like I said, I am not against multiple political parties. They are competent people. They are reputable people. And if we have just limited number and other people, they'll tell you it's been zoned. They'll tell you it's this person. If you find out that most of the zoning thing or most of the appointment thing is not even a popular candidate or a reputable person, it's always with the interest of the powers that be. To get some people, some of their men that are loyal. But when you have capacity, when you have character, when you have all it takes to vie for a political position, and you think there's the party that is giving the platform, of course, come out and contest. Come out and serve the people. It's just about serving the people, not necessarily the few powers that be.
But with the prevalent system,
okay,
don't you think that even more parties does not ensure that anything is done?
Exactly. I think so to an extent.
So the fact that you eventually have an opportunity to vie doesn't mean you're making any headway.
Yes, I think so.
It's because what has happened is that we have a system, and what that system does is that it shortchanges people. In a bid to solve the problem of shortchanging people, you now bring in the other parties. Now, the other parties give you an opportunity, but the system also kills the opportunity that these new parties provide for you. We're on the same page, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, how do we begin to... Now, 2 parties, 10 parties.
10 parties.
Someone will say 5 parties. There was a time we had 5.
Okay, another thing is, there's this thing for independent candidature. And when we talk about independent candidature, it's about popularity.
It doesn't. It's not working right
now. It's not
now.
working, bro. Having multiple party system could also help. If you think you have the structure, you have the population, the popularity, you have all it takes. Then come out from any of these political parties and contest.
Independent candidacy. We still go back to the issue of party agents, because I have a friend who won election in Kenya, the youngest member of the parliament. He came out as independent candidacy, and before that day, he said he started his campaign 5 years when he was still in secondary school. He started his campaign 5 years before election, and he contested with his principal.
You think that can work here?
We are talking about issue of independent candidacy here. Now, why I'm bringing that situation up is this guy was able to go for grassroots mobilization. He has the structure at hand. So is it the one that will do election on poster pasting, on social media campaign? Is that what you are going for?
Just before we go on, let's bring in our third guest, even though our time is almost gone. The publisher, Indigo Newspapers, with Chibuzo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay.
So sorry, the traffic was so much.
Well, it's okay. We're talking about electoral fraud, and okay, since you walked in, you've listened to the flow of conversation. What comes to your mind when we say electoral fraud?
Well, the thing is, everything about Nigeria tends to be, fraud. But I should think the government started it all.
Okay.
It started it all. The way the government is moving about, trying to curb a lot of things, creates room for, people to do more of the crisis here. Now you find out that if you want to curb a thing, you start from the roots. If you get to if you want to cut a tree, and you just cut the branches, you've not done anything. The lump is there. Yes. Now, if you want to curb electoral fraud, first of all, the government should eschew the issue of thuggery, some other things, because people are looking for money. There is hunger everywhere. Remove hunger. Do the normal thing. Let the pattern of governance we are adopting be the one that should be grassroots oriented. Not necessarily looking at the politicians to start sharing 1 naira, 2 naira, a cup of rice, a bar soup, and things like that. Once such areas are plunged, nobody has the right to give anybody a dime. People will now start thinking that it is our responsibility to pick up somebody that will govern us very well. Once that thing is removed from us, well, everybody is now hungry. A hungry man is an angry man. He is looking for money to eat. And once you pay somebody 5 naira to get to that position, my brother, you must recoup that 5 naira before you think towards that person.
Okay.
And we've seen so many administrations, they come and go. Nobody has ever thought of, I blame especially the National Orientation Agency, the Ministry of Information, because what the Ministry of Information today is doing is not what we in the information industry is doing.
Okay.
The Ministry of Information, instead of doing the proper information management, they are doing propaganda, and propaganda cannot help anybody.
Okay.
You are talking of hate speech and things like that. But you are using propaganda. There's no way you remove propaganda from hate speech.
Exactly.
Because they are twin, they're interrelated, yes. So in terms of the corruption within the vote buying and inducing people to do things, these are corruption. These are things that the government should find a way of removing by totally educating people. Educating people, this is your civic responsibility. Don't allow people to give you money before you do, and you put them in power. Because if anybody gives you money before coming to power, he has bought you. You cannot say he's not. Our roads are bad. This and that. No, he has paid you. So you don't have anything to quarrel with.
So that means the people are also part of their own problem.
Yes.
To an extent, yes.
When they say, you see, the truth is, I don't know, but I don't like a situation whereby we, the citizen, always shift blame to the government and try to exonerate ourselves. I will tell you basically, the corruption you see, no matter how you want to define it, corruption might not exist. Let us be sincere. If my party wins election, it is fair and fair. It is not the person that lost that saws it as being rigging. So there is nothing like evil in some instances. It is only the mind. If you should define corruption to you, if your uncle is a director in one ministry and he helps you to give you employment,
he is not corrupt.
it is to you.
Your
Uncle have done you a favor. But meanwhile, the person that two of you are looking for this job, which has more better qualification than you, have seen it that your uncle have done something bad. To you, he didn't do anything bad. You see, have you seen the situation? Now, it is not the issue of moral justification. Like a Rotary Club, they will tell you, is it fair to all concerned?
Okay.
That is now where the issue of us justifying if something is good or bad for.
You see, my brother, you are very much correct. I would like to add this, put up something across this side. If you look at what the people, the government is doing, you find out why I'm blaming the government today is that they establish a norm that this is what. Before you know it
what
now,
ought to be.
Before you know it now, on the day of the election, our people will start playing on the streets. Nobody would like to go and vote.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Plenty of them.
The consciousness that the election has been won, the rigging has gone. But if you are talking of the way, trying to, yes, it is when you understand that it is your right, your civic responsibility to change certain things. I could remember sometime in Enugu here when we started saying people should stop meandering. If there's any slightest traffic jam, you see people meandering, trying to find a way of surpassing the other person or the other. But if you just follow the line, it will be going gradually. You get to where you are going on time.
Of course, to do that, because people do what they do because they see the body language of government does not show the right example. If a senior police officer or a military man will do that meandering and go free, everybody else feels they can do that. But if the House of Assembly passes a law, traffic law, that says there's no meandering, this is the fine, and then even if you are the governor, you queue, everybody starts queuing.
That's rule of law.
Yes, you are correct. In Rivers State, sometime when Rotimi Amechi was the governor of Rivers State, it happened. So many local government chairmen were impounded. Their vehicles were impounded. They were
even in Lagos.
Martial. Yes, even in Lagos they did it. But can anybody do it here? Just check okay, you mentioned the police. They are the worst people when it comes to that.
Even when they are not
Nigerian police, when they're not pursuing anything, we see why are they doing that? Their civic responsibility is to maintain law and order. But they don't do it. And when they establish this consciousness in us, we can do it. And ordinary councillor will carry one sergeant in front. The man will start clearing everybody, get out of the road, get out of the councillor is passing. I mean, it's absurd. It's not supposed to be so.
And you see when they move, another car will follow to use the privilege of
before you know what is happening, the road
So that boils down to, if we decide to change the situation, let us all come out this time around and say, time has come for us to get it right. And if we're going to get it right, I wouldn't I could remember sometime in the past in Abuja where I stay, there was this program and we are saying, I said the Minister of Information has failed us. because they are supposed to equip the National Orientation Agency to do certain things, to put in us, especially the younger ones who are coming. Find up a program on radio like this. Allow go to secondary schools, go to the primary schools, start putting in their mind. This is how to get things done. This is how to get things done. Before you know it, it will be in their mind, in their consciousness that doing things this way is wrong. Doing it this way is right. Once you establish that, it follows.
Leaders should lead by example. We could be shrunk into less than we are and still not get it right. So we have a whole lot of work to do, and it all starts with you and I. The top line is open, 0902-311-109. Let's get your view on electoral fraud. And of course, let's keep talking.
Yeah. I want to make a when he was.
Let me just take this call. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. What's your name and location?
Yeah. This is Chizzy. I'm calling from Enugu.
All right. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Please. In this issue, I think. For example, now, when a vehicle is moving on the road, it's not the vehicle driving itself, right?
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
And if the guy that vehicle is moving gently, it means the driver is driving gently.
Yeah.
Now, you see, in this country, our problem is not the people, it's our leaders. The people leading us are the problem of this country. So if they can amend their ways, the country will be in order. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Can I say something to
Go
him?
ahead.
Okay, one of the problems is also we the citizens. Most time people are not accountable because we're not responsible. If we come out to cast our vote and vote the right people that will be accountable to us, I think it will go a long way in shaping the character of the leaders. If we bring people to power, I think they can be accountable to us. So
let's take some more calls. You just keep your thoughts so that towards the end we can really hear them. Hello.
Good morning to you, Mr. Uche in the studio.
That sounds like Peter from Abakaliki.
Speaking from Abakaliki. Good morning to your guest in the studio as well.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Go
Good morning,
ahead.
sir.
It's an interesting and wonderful topic. I want to take my take from a particular statement one of your guests made about a particular candidate in Kenya had to campaign and defeated his for 5 years. He was there about before he finally got elected into parliament. And I want to like that with some of the so many political parties who got registered yesterday declare their candidacy today, and tomorrow they want to be presidents of this country. What happens to the idea of gradually trying to build up, probably from the local government level, the states, different states of assembly levels, where you can gradually build up your structure, build up what you stand for. Let people begin to the difference between what is obtainable and what you're presenting. And by so doing gradually, you begin to build up, probably in 4 8 years, then you can take a shot at the presidency. By then, your popularity will have soared, and so many people have known what you stand for and what you stand to offer. And that kind of diminishes that idea we have today. Like I said earlier, where somebody brings up, because most of the candidates we have today outside the 2 major political parties, they are just one man show. Probably they stand for the presidency, and you cannot probably even say what.
All right. Peter, are you still there?
That's my take this morning, Mr. You have a nice day in your studio.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay. We're talking about fraud, electoral fraud. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, that one is giving me a headache. Hello. Hello. Yeah, good morning. What's your name? All right, let's hear you.
I want to just say today, the best way to stop electoral fraud is let government make this political appointment less attractive. If they make it less attractive, I think people who are ready to serve will go there. Because one of their aim of going there is to make money. And that leads them to do whatever they want to do in order to get that position. I think if the position is made less attractive, people will not be hurried to go there. That is my own take.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Okay, make it less attractive. Of course, you're going to be summarizing on, see whether you get issues that we can deliberate on. Hello? Yeah, good morning. You will do as well if you can be more audible.
I said my name is Chukwuduka. I'm calling from Ofu.
Go ahead.
Okay, the issue of this election fraud, I will not blame the citizens because I've been one of the witnesses. There was a campaign we had in our Urumba North, Anambra State, when we did a councillor, something like that. The citizens voted for somebody, and after the vote, the result was announced that this is the person that won the election. And another political, what would I call it, just sent a message after we were celebrating about the victory, that remember the power of inclusion. Before we could head to the local government, they have changed the name to the person everybody knew that he failed the election. And they now that person the winner. And finally the person becomes the councillor, which he served the tenure finished. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is nothing a citizen can do about this. Before we could reach to the local government to protest, they use everything as security and lock every place up. Now, if you are telling the citizens to come here and vote, even after you vote, they still have many ways to lead the election. So we should blame the government, the leaders. If the leaders are willing to tell the citizens the truth, that is when we can revive this country. But as for the citizen coming here and vote, if you protect your own here, okay, look at Osun State. Election was very, very successful. They announced it inconclusive. What does any other person do? Or is that man the winner of that election? So the only thing I will tell you, when we are ready to tell ourselves the truth, I mean the leaders, that is the only time we can get things right in this country. But apart from that, I don't see any hope. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us from Ufuma. Ufuma is in Anambra State. Hello? Hello? Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
name is Enzo. I'm calling from Oka. Always quick to blame the politicians. Yeah, I know they have their own role to play. But you as the oppressed, exploited, and dominated nations, what role are you playing? Most of us are rushing to go get our PVCs. For what? I can authoritatively tell you that most of us are rushing to get our PVCs to have a bargaining power on election day. You sell your vote and expect people not to perpetrate fraud in that electoral process? It's not possible. The problem is us. As far as I'm concerned, the poor man is a clog in the wheel of Nigeria's progress. The poor man is the one causing this country not to have a free and fair election. The poor man has this mentality that once my brother is in government, it's our turn to chop. When we start voting on the basis of what the person is bringing to the table, not on the basis of religion and ethnicity, then we're not going to get it right. As most of people down south is, why are they voting? They only tell because Peter is an Igbo man. That's all. And they expect people not to commit electoral fraud. They come to your local government, people tell you, promise you what they know they will deliver. You won't vote for them because they're not going to share money. So why won't politicians perpetrate fraud during the electoral period? They will do it. So the poor man, we need to change that mentality. We need to start holding our leaders accountable, irrespective of where they come from or what they believe in. Go to that polling unit, vote for your preferred candidate because there's something he's bringing to the table. Not because it's an Igbo man or a Christian or a Muslim or a Yoruba. As far as we keep having this kind of mentality that government is all about go and chop. If you have a brother who has been in government for 4 years, you expect him to come back home with millions. I've seen a lot of people that have been in government. They don't want to steal, but every day the people keep running them down. See this one, they go government, he come back empty-handed. That's the mentality, because we see the government, we see politics as a place to go and chop. And after chopping, you expect the leader to give you dividend of democracy. You sell your vote, for a bowl of fufu and a goosey, and you expect the same leader. How would they not give you dividend of democracy? Why would they rig themselves into power? Because of giving them this platform. Like I said, poor people should stop giving political platform to go and steal around, to dig around the cookie jar. As far as we keep giving a platform to steal, because they steal, they come back to your village to give you handouts. Maybe some of them give you weekly, monthly, and daily handouts. And you celebrate them. You celebrate corruption and expect them not to steal. You see a man who is sincere to serve you.
All right.
Tell you, it's what I want to do for you. But if he doesn't give you money, you won't vote for him. So what do you want him to do? Poor people, you guys need to wake up from your state of reduced consciousness if you want this country to make progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Enzo. Always forthright, and he's joining us from Oka. Hello, good morning. You're sounding like you're scared. Hello? All right. You might do us good if you can be more audible.
Good morning. Can you hear me perfectly now?
Let's manage your low tone. Go ahead.
I'm Joshua. I'm calling from Benin State.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, I want to just ask a little question. My question is this. How will you know the right person to vote on that election day? Because you go to election ground and people will be selling their vote, and maybe it comes to your turn and they will just give you maybe some amount of money, like 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, that you should give them the vote. And when you just pick it, considering your family, I think some circumstances and financial problems that you are facing, and you will not just connect it. Some people will just connect it, and some people will say that they will collect the money and they will not vote for the people they collect the money from. So I want to understand how will you know the right person to vote, since you are not in the family or you are not in the member of this person or that person that is coming out for that presidency or governorship and
All right. It's very simple. Of course, if you when they of course show their candidature, you should start studying who they are, study the antecedents. All right. Let me get back here so that we don't. You've been listening. So, what will you want to talk about?
Okay, somebody, one of our callers said the poor people should be blamed. But I tell you, the government should take the brunt of the whole thing. The reason is this: look at what is going on right now. They call it the trade money. What is the trade money for? You did not start the trade money since 3 years. You started the trade money just few weeks to the election. You are still doing the trade money. What are you doing? You are going back to buy indirectly. I am yet to be convinced that that thing is not vote buying, because vote buying, is all embracing. Another one, people keep saying electoral fraud. If we want to stop it, it's government that can stop fraud. The government should roll out measures to say this is how we're going to stamp out this thing from our society. If we don't want, I cannot as an individual start something and bring it to a logical conclusion if the government doesn't want that thing to be concluded. For instance, the National Orientation Agency, they are dead. They are no longer doing anything. The Minister of Information is not doing anything. Rather, telling us that 16 years of wastages, 16 years of this is not how to carry the nation forward. I could remember once telling the Minister of Information that have you ever seen, if I mention it, maybe because of this I will not say, but if you look at the way we call what we call relationship marketing. In relationship marketing, what is expected of us is you come together, I'll come together, we satisfy this person. That is relationship marketing, and that is the core of information, core of selling a product. If you want a product to be acceptable by the general public, you devise a means of getting it across to the people. Yeah. The Ministry of Information today is not doing it. What they are doing is propaganda. Take now that the election is coming. What they are doing is that this other party has gone to this way, they have gone to this. That is not how to do it. The National Orientation Agency should come up and tell Nigerians, this is how you are going to vote. How our mothers in the villages, in our various this thing, how are they going to thumbprint? Have you told them how they are going to do that? You've not done that. And you are still expecting them to come out and vote. How are they going to do it? So it is not a question of somebody who is poor. After all, poverty is of the mind. I've never seen a poor man in my life. poverty is a thing of the mind, because if you are poor, it is, if you don't go to the
It's
interpretation,
relative.
it's relative. So if you look at the way the government should come out to say, we are going to take this thing out of the society. After Uwe's board came out and said this is how to stamp out electoral fraud, and the government rejected it. So what else are we expecting people to do?
All right, what issue is bothering you right now from all the things you heard?
Okay, from all the things I heard concerning the electoral fraud, number one of them is vote buying. Vote buying cannot be overemphasized.
Okay.
You know, most times, these people impoverish the people so that a hungry man will do anything so that he or she can eat. So, in one of the way of curbing or tackling the poor person is empower people economically, and they will have the willpower to choose the right political leaders. So when you impoverish, I was talking with somebody, was telling me, sorry to say, empower this, empower this. I said no. For crying out loud, for past 4 years, there's not been popular recruitment in federal ministries. So you don't just come and tell me empower is what. How much are you being paid as a graduate?
3 naira.
And how much are you meant to be paid as a graduate if you're working federal parastatal? So they impoverish people. People at the every slightest crumb they get, they are very hungry and desperate. So they tend to negotiate because they want to eat to survive. So all we are saying is that they should stop vote buying, empower the people economically. And then also we are putting it to our neck to help us. After the people, like I said, electors are, like I said, the next people are party agents. They should help us to rebuild this country. They should help us to stand on our integrity. And the third people are INEC. The fairest thing people are having is what INEC cannot be trusted. INEC needs to prove their integrity to the Nigerians, that they can protect the Nigeria and move the country forward. So in essence, this is what we're saying. The electorate should come out to vote. If electorate come out to vote, then there won't be much room for rigging. And the party agents should help the country. And INEC, lastly, should help the country. And government should empower the people and bring them out of hunger so that they can, with their right mindset, vote the right people into political power.
Okay. Well, let's hear from you. What's agitating you?
If you say government, and they bring me to ask this question. This program was organized by a non-governmental, non-profitable organization. I've been listening to this program for more than 6 weeks, and I've been to this program 2 times. I have never in any of this program here sponsored by. That means these people have taken up the pain. They have been calling for sponsors, and I've never heard that we've gotten one or not from the program. Now this is their hard-earned money. They were not waiting for the government. Global Society for Anti-Corruption are not waiting for the government, but they feel that the best thing they can do is to take this enlightenment and awareness creation to the people. Now it takes me back to what is the role of the civil societies in this issue we are talking about. As a civil society, what are you doing? Do you just answer you are a civil society? Are you an activist on social media? You sit in your house? Do you think that the Global Society for Anti-Corruption, they cannot sit in their home, complain from here till next tomorrow, and do nothing? So if we say government, if we say party, we should look at inwardly ourselves.
Okay.
Thank God that most of us are into civil society here. What have we been doing to help the government before we say the national orientation? Yes, national orientation, they are now praise singers. Ministry of Information are praise singers. They even sing more than the people that would know that sing praises.
And sometimes I fail to understand that if you're a minister, you're not a minister of a party. You're a minister
of the Federal Republic.
All right, I wish we could go on, but
sorry, somebody asked, how do he know a right candidate?
Yes, go ahead.
Now,
make it brief.
If you want to know a right candidate, go back to my word. Antecedent matters a lot. If I am in just today and I want to contest election, people will always say, okay, we know this about him, we know that about him. That is where the issue of community mobilization and grassroots, and you have to start from the grassroots because politics is local.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you didn't get something. If you should know the right person to vote for, like you said, you should just go and find out about the person and check what the person has to bring on the table.
What are the things this person
for grassroots mobilization? Are they? All they need to do is
from what the young man is saying, he should know who by now the person that have shown him more commitment.
Okay. Sorry, what other thing people say is that rigging is everywhere, even in your home, you rig.
Our time is up. This is made possible by Global Anti-Corruption, Global Society for Anti-Corruption, and we urge you to visit the website at www.globalanticorruption.com. You can also join their Facebook fan page by, of course, search out the globalanticorruption.com on Facebook and like the page and become part of a community. You can also reach them by calling 0703 589 2211 or 0818 721 0349. It's been fun talking with Honored Chief Stephanie Samtochukwu. Thank you for coming around.
Thank you, sir.
We also listened to Ambassador Ogene Jude Obodo.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Thank you. And then last but certainly not the least, the publisher of Indigo newspapers, Ogwefi Chibuzornia. Thank you for coming around.
It's my pleasure.
All right. We'll keep talking until we get it right. Uche Gabriel signing out.